Hopefully.
Yeah. I
Hopefully.
think that'll be it then.
Technical
I'll
issues.
hang up.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. I do apologise, everyone. A few technical issues. Talking away quietly to myself for 5 minutes. But hopefully somebody can hear me and see me now. Somebody just like to sort of put a little comment or put a wave emoji or whatever, just so that I know I'm actually going out and about. That would be great. In the meantime, I'm Dave Lewis. I'm a village agent in South Somerset, relatively new to the company, and enjoyed helping others, which is basically what CCS is all about. It's empowering others and helping others to achieve what they want and to support them at home as much as possible, and to try and teach them skills that will see them through life and keep them safe. That's what we're hopeful. Wonderful. I'm getting notice that people can hear me, so it's great. Obviously, we're here as a team. We work with other professionals, voluntary organisations as well, and yeah, as I say, try and help people to stay at home, be independent, learn new skills, and empower people to enjoy a good quality of life. And that's part of what this talk is all about today. I appreciate the other agents have done an awful lot about who CCS are, and so I'm got quite a lot to get through really on this particular topic about scams and fraudulent emails and that type of thing. There's 3 or 4 main themes and 2 or 3 basic solutions, but no doubt you will have something a little bit different. And to show how common they are, just in the last 2 or 3 days I've had an email from Santander about my account, which is quite clever because I don't have an account with Santander, but obviously it was trying to get me to click on the link, pass over bank details. If I had been a customer of Santander and not been switched on, I may well have revealed details, password, and so forth, which then gives scammers access to my account. So basically, you need to spot these scams if you can. Very often you're just contacted out of the blue, just random email appears or a text. Sometimes you get them on smartphones. I must admit I don't have a smartphone, so I don't have that problem, but it's much the same thing. And sometimes it's a case of asking you to reset your password and things for a thing that basically it's not going to the company that is sending it. So if it comes from a bank or a building society or your car insurance or whatever it is, just have a quick look and see if it seems genuine or not. Several ways to tell. Sometimes they're offering a deal that's too good to be true. They're asking you to share personal details. They shouldn't do. If the company is contacting you, they should have your personal details, especially your bank. Okay, there's no need for you to give personal details over the phone or by email to anybody claiming to be from a bank. If you're pressurized to respond quickly, you know, we need to act within the next 2-3 hours or else they could take money from your account. Those sorts of pressure things, it's not right. The bank can stop any transactions anytime they choose and basically verify that it is or isn't you, and if it is you, let the transaction go through. If it's not you, then they can look at a fraudulent attempt to get your money. Are the contact details a little bit vague? Is it just a mobile number? It might well have a nice big logo that says it's from the Halifax Building Society, Santander, Lloyds Bank, Barclays, whatever. But is there that business address at the bottom? Has it got a registered number and so forth? So if contact details are a bit vague, check them out. Don't check them out via any links on emails or by your phone. Go to the website, go to the company's verified website, which you can usually check as a little green tick or a little blue dot sometimes by them, and that gives you contact numbers and also to report anything if you think it's not a genuine email from them. And the classic one, for some of us of a certain age, spelling and grammatical mistakes, which gripes with me at the best of times, but very often you'll find grammatical errors, there's the word use, as in the way that they would speak, because English is possibly the second language, or Google Translate has changed it from the language that they've typed it into what it deems appropriate English. And of course the other way is to check if they've asked you to stay quiet about it, don't tell anybody else, this is just between you and me. There's probably a reason why, you know, if it's a good deal, everybody should be offered it, otherwise something a little bit dodgy maybe about it. As I said, besides my little email from Santander, I had another one from the DVLA telling me that my payment for my car tax hadn't gone through and could I correct it. Okay, another common scam. Okay, these come through all the time. At the moment, because of the coronavirus and preying on people's fears, there's lots of emails flying around offering things like PPE, hand sanitizer at ridiculously cheap prices compared to some of the extortionate prices that are being charged at the moment, and other COVID-19 related issues, face masks and so on, trying to get you to send money, and in turn you don't get any goods. Sometimes it pretends to be from an eBay site. It may look like a genuine eBay site, but it will take you to a scam web page which will take your money, as I say, and not deliver your goods. Now, there is one way of finding out. If you hover your mouse over the link, or sometimes if you have a smartphone, I think you can probably touch it and it says source, or look for the web page source. That will show you where that link will take you to, and it's quite easy to check, you know, if it's a genuine account or not. But be careful, because some of them are very, very good at hiding the thing that actually the address may be genuine. You need to look and see if it's got the little padlock at the top of the screen that indicates that it's secure. It should also have HTTPS, and that little S on the end is the thing that makes it secure, and that should take you to a genuine site. But again, be careful. I had one the other day that was from Amazon. I do have an Amazon account like most people, but this one had Amazon_secure.co.uk, and when I looked at it and hovered the mouse over it, it actually didn't take me to a UK web address at all. It was one in, I think it was in Holland or somewhere strange like that, NL on the end of it. So yeah, it's a scam one. I reported it to Amazon and they did come back and say it was actually a scam. So be careful. Even some of the reputable companies are getting ripped off. Also, there are a few grammatical errors in the email as well, and as I said, sometimes that's because English may be the second language for the people sending it, or Google Translate has got it right. When I looked at the email a little bit closer, I did notice that some of the pictures, the Amazon logo, nice smiley face that you see on boxes everywhere, keeping the country going, etc., was a little bit fuzzy and not quite as clear as it is on Amazon's homepage. And so quite clearly somebody had copied a photo or copied a picture, print screen, whatever, and had used it to mock up this page to look pretty much like an Amazon.co.uk page. So they're getting smarter. Not all of them are that clever, but some of them are really quite convincing. As I say, if you're not sure, put the mouse cursor over the hyperlink and it will hopefully show you where it goes, and it may or may not be. Now, as I mentioned just now, that official looking email scams are quite common, and they are becoming common again at the moment. Again, playing on COVID fears. All have the DVLA one sent to us once in a blue moon. Recently I've had one offering me £7,500 as tax refund, which would have been very nice if it was genuine, but sadly it wasn't. And again, it looked like it came from the gov.uk site, HMRC. So anything like that, you can always forward the email on to phishing@hmrc.gov.uk and then just delete that particular email. You can also block, if you've find a way of doing it on Hotmail. It's quite straightforward. The old Hotmail Outlook one is quite straightforward. Just where it says junk mail, you click on it, little drop down menu, it says phishing or block. If you report it as phishing, it reports it to the company. I tend to block them first, and then when it goes into your deleted file, then report it as phishing, so that it goes off to the company as well, your internet service provider, so that they can track down and chase these. If you do click on the link, several things to be aware of. One, that there's possibility of some sort of malware being downloaded onto your computer, so you always need to make sure you've got some sort of decent antivirus software on your laptop or on your phone. You can get AVG for free. There are quite a few other free ones around and about. You can pay for ones like Norton and so forth, and you can get different levels of cover as well to protect you from things. It's always worth having a good, or at least a half decent antiviral software on your computer and on your phone. Again, anything to do with those sorts of scams, report them to HRMC, for Customs and Revenue, at the phishing@hmrc.gov.uk, and hopefully we'll be able to put that email address up in the comments for you at some point. And you can also, if you have clicked on it and happen to hand it over some important information, some personal information, before you realise that it was probably not a genuine call, you can contact the HMRC security team, and again we'll hopefully get their email address up and into the comments for you at some point. And they are security.custcon, so it's CUSTCON at hmrc.gov.uk. That's if you've passed any personal details in any email or clicked on any links. Now, as I said at the beginning, banks will never ask for any details via email. Let's face it, if it's come from your bank, they should have all your details. You know, they should have your bank account number, they should have your sort code, they should have access to information, your security questions. Just be careful, obviously, if you're asked over the phone or by email for these sorts of things, not to give away any detail. Don't ever give your password out. If they say, can you verify your password? No, it's quite simple. You know, the minute your password's out there, your bank account is an open source of money for these scammers, okay, and they have no qualms at all about emptying out your bank account. Telephone calls as well to people saying there's been some suspicious activity on your bank account, and do we want to follow it up and so forth. Then, you know, just be very, very careful. Think about this. If you were stood face to face with someone, would you be telling this person that sort of information if they were stood in front of you writing it down? Because they're on the end of the phone, you don't see them writing it down. So just stop and think, are you as safe online as you are in the real world? Okay. And that's probably rule number one. If you get nothing else from this, take that on board, that, you know, you do need to be a little bit wary and a little bit suspicious. We're all a little bit sort of kind and helpful, and we do like to sort of try and make things as easy as possible for people. However, we don't want to make things as easy as possible for scammers. Okay, if they look up and say, yeah, yes, my boss's name is Mr. Smith, and he works at the London branch of this bank, and his telephone number is, give you a mobile number, don't take it at face value. It's obviously just going to be one of their mates in an office just down the way. Always go back to Google search. Look for that bank's homepage. Make sure it's verified that it is barclays.co.uk or lloyds.co.uk. Go onto there, go through their switchboard if you need to, and say, can I talk to Mr. Smith? who is in the fraud department of your bank. And if they look up and say, we don't have a Mr. Smith working in the fraud department of this bank, you know that it is a genuine scam. If there's such a thing as genuine scam, seems a bit ironic that. But it is a scam attempt to defraud you of money. Obviously, if there is a Mr. Smith who works at that bank, it could be that they have worked this out, they've discovered this, and they just hope that you won't actually get through to that person and talk to them. If you talk to them and go, yeah, I called you just now, then great. It genuinely is from your bank and somebody has tried to take money from your account. However, if he looks up and says, no, I'm sorry, that's not what I deal with, then again, we're back to, we know it's a scam. So, be a little bit cynical. I'm getting old, I'm getting cynical as I get older and a little less trustworthy, but I know that we do like to try and help, and we do like to think the best of people, but not everybody is as nice as you and I. Okay, so a little bit of research. It may take a little bit of time, but at the end of the day, it's better to lose 10 minutes out of your day than it is to lose every penny you've got in your bank account. So if they look up and say, look, we need to act on this within an hour, fine. Say, I'll take 10 minutes, I'll do a bit of research, I'll get back to you. Obviously, if you find out it's not them, just make sure that if they've given you a number, you pass that on to the bank that you contact or your organisation that you've contacted, whether Building Society, HMRC, or whoever. Various banks have got email addresses for you to send any suspicious emails. There's always a text option as well, you can forward it on to them, but Barclays, for example, have internet security at barclays.com. NatWest have got phishing, which is phishing at natwest.com. And online and telephone fraud, they've got a free phone number. Again, hopefully we'll put those up for you, which is an 0800 number, 161 5154. Santander, I did manage somehow to get an email to them, but when I tried to research what that email address was on the works computer, I couldn't find one, but they again provide a free phone number, so Santander have got one, and they also recommend that you contact Action Fraud. And that brings me on quite nicely to Action Fraud. This is an organisation that's free to use. If you think you've been a victim of a scam or a fraud, you can call them on 0300 123 2040, or there's a little online form. If you click on the link, if you just Google Action Fraud, it will come up. This is an organisation working with the police to track down a number of these fraudsters and everything else, and they really have got it down to a fine art. They've got some of these fraudsters quite nicely sussed. They're very often in their sites. They just sometimes need the evidence, and people like you passing on more information just confirms their suspicions and helps people to become a little more aware, if you like. Okay. So Action Fraud, even if you just want a little bit of advice, look, I've had this phone call, it didn't seem quite right by the time I'd finished. They will look into it, they will ask you a few questions, not a problem, just work with them, they will help you. If people have sent you, as I said, a scam email, like I had from Amazon the other day, unlike report phishing and so forth, there's for some reason is called stop-spoofing at amazon.com, but that reports a phishing email to them. eBay also call theirs spoof, so they're a spoof at ebay.com, and obviously at the moment there are quite a lot of eBay scams and attempted frauds going on. Also, if you've got eBay, chances are you've got a PayPal account, which is reasonably secured, but again, they have an option where you can forward an email to spoof at paypal.com. Now, they all have slightly different ways of doing this. Some of them want you just to send it as it is, others want you to send it as an attachment. Best thing to do, have a little Google, how do I report phishing email to and then put your company's name or your organisation's name, and it's normally fairly good. They're pretty good at sorting these things out as well. And as I say, if you know how to do it, by all means block that sender, because you can guarantee they will have passed your email address on to other scammers, and you'll be getting more scams coming via that same email address. If you're really concerned and so forth, you can also contact trading standards, and trading standards are always good for lots of different things, you know, to report a scam or a rip-off. So again, if you've sent off, you know, £120 to buy PPE and hand sanitizer and soap and one thing and another, and nothing has arrived, under the trading standards, they will investigate that and look into it. And they work obviously with our wonderful citizens advice people, and again, you can contact them. And you can call Citizens Advice on 0808 250 5050, or just have a little look if you're in touch with your local CAB office. Happy days. Okay. There is also a form which you can fill in. So if it happens at 8, 9 o'clock at night and the office is shut, you can put in the form and they will contact you as soon as they can. So any complaints about goods or services, Citizens Advice Bureau, and down through to trading standards. Sorry, funny 5 minutes there. Mental block. Okay. Now, Citizens Advice, people that we work on, sorry, I've put my head off the top of the screen. Citizens Advice we work with. If you want to contact your local authority trading standards, you can put in your postcode on their Find My Council, and that will take you to the Gov website, which will tell you who to contact from Trading Standards office near you. Action Fraud phone number, did I give that one out? I will give it out again just to be on the safe side. Action Fraud, if you think you've been a victim or a scam of fraud, report it to them on 0300 123 2040. Or as I say, there is an online link there where you can fill in a form. So a quick recap. How can we best guess that it's a scam? Well, is the deal too good to be true? You know, somebody can offer you £7,500 out of the blue. HMRC are quite nice, quick at taking your money, and not too quick to hand it back unless you have to apply for it generally. So just think about that side of things. Check the... Oh, I'm saying I'm having trouble with the video here. If anybody can still hear me, I will keep talking, but if it's all ground to a halt... And how are we doing? Has it dropped out? Seems like we're all good. Okay, so people can hear me. I do apologise, I've lost my picture at this end. Again, check the URL or the website address by hovering your mouse over it, and if it's on a smartphone, I'm sure there's usually a way of select it, and you can copy and paste that into a web browser and just see where it takes you, but I wouldn't advise clicking on it direct. Ideally, if you can hover over it, you can see where it is. Very often you will find that when you Google something like it, that it says this is a scam, do not touch, so just be aware. Facebook, obviously a lot of you using Facebook or Facebook Live, you know, have a little look at your timeline. Do you get a lot of the same sort of status being shared by people at the time? I'm always very, very wary of these. Constant stream of things and people sharing, posting, adding them on. I mean, if I wanted to track who was friends with who and I want to get a network of people, I would put up a little thing like that, put a little tracking program with it, and I could sort of literally pick, if you like, all of your contact names, hack into your email contacts, your friends on Facebook, and then I'm ready to start spamming or scamming if I want to. Recently there's been lots of these, click on the fruit or the animal of your birth, the month of your birth. I'm sure I haven't done any of them, but I'm sure one of the next questions would be, what is the day of your birth? So suddenly you've given any potential hacker day and month of your birth. It doesn't take them a lot to work out the year very often. Also then it'll ask you what your favourite food is, what your favourite animal is, and they'll turn it into your soulmate for you. You are just handing over potential passwords. How many of you, if you stop and think about it, have got the name of your favourite animal, of your first pet or whatever as part of your password somewhere? Probably quite a few of you. They're memorable to us. That's why we do it. I tend to avoid those now, but I, like everybody else, used to use quite often. Your favourite colour, your favourite band, whatever it is, don't use them as part of your password. Okay, those shared things, is a perfect source, if you like, for scammers. Okay, so if you struggle to remember passwords and you've made it a little more complicated than normal, there's a good old-fashioned, I'm hoping you can still see me because I can see nothing, I got little post-it notes, hidden behind my laptop. There's a couple of passwords written down on that. It's not saved on the computer. Hackers can't get to it. There's no way that they can see it through the camera because it's behind, out the way, until it gets stuck in my head, and then I can screw the post-it up. Or inevitably after 60 days you have to change your password anyway, so that one's obsolete. Okay. Otherwise, why not put them in a little notebook? Keep the notebook in a drawer somewhere near your laptop, near your phone, whatever. If you've got one of these smartphones and it's got a sleeve thing in here, don't write it down and put it in there. It just gives everybody access straight away. But keep it somewhere nearby if you need to, in the glove box of the car, whatever you need to do to keep it handy, somewhere where hackers and scammers can't find them. If nothing else, just take from this, is a deal too good to be true? How many of you have been offered things like trainers that look like Nikes for half price, 25% of the price, or whatever? Have a little look, especially if a new company has started up. Scammers very often get in pretty quickly onto those. Just check the site, do a little bit of research, like I say, take 5 minutes, go to Google the company's address, have a look. Does it look very professional? Does it look very nice? Are all the pictures nice and crisp and clean? Go back to the offer that you've been sent via Facebook or wherever it's come from through an email, which has got .eu or .fr on the end of it, because it's come from abroad somewhere, and just compare the two. Are they comparable? Would a professional company send something that looks a little bit shoddy? Hopefully not. Okay, and if you're really not sure, you can't quite decide, go back to the genuine home page, message the seller. Is this offer true or not? If it is, yes please. If it's not, be aware somebody is using your brand to try and sell fake goods via email or Facebook or whatever. So quick private message to a friend or family and say, have you received this? What do you think? Does it look genuine or not? You can have a little discussion between you. Hopefully you can find out that it's not. So yeah. Contact the company. Yeah, if you're not happy, you and your friend, contact the company. So just be aware of scam emails. 5 basic things to remember to keep you safe, which we went through at the beginning. Okay, which is fairly straightforward. Do you want me to recap them? If you do, I'll go through them very quickly. Have you been contacted out of the blue? Is the deal too good to be true? Have you been asked to share any personal details or pass over bank details? Is this a time-sensitive scam? And does it look as professional? Has the spelling correct, grammar correct, or not? Okay. Right. last bit, I think. Oh, excuse me, it's getting a bit warm again, isn't it? Okay, if you receive emails and anything like that saying you have an on-the-spot fine or whatever, again, don't click on the links, please. Okay, banks will not give you on-the-spot fines. It's not a legal way of extracting money from people. You can have an invoice sent online, but certainly shouldn't be getting a demand for money. Check the links, hover over that little link, make sure that you get everything right, and just have a look if anything comes through from your internet provider. So if you're with Sky or BT or whoever, okay, scam email will have all the logos and it'll look very professional, and it'll have all the Sky and BT bits down the bottom with the registered company and so forth. But does it have your unique customer number or your full name? You are not Mrs. Smith at hotmail.com. Okay, to them you're a customer, you are Jane Smith, John Smith, whatever it is. Okay, so just have a little look, make sure that your details are correct. Don't be rushed, don't be pushed up. If you miss a good deal this week, chances are it'll come back again next week anyway, and it gives you a chance to save up a bit of money. And if an offer ends tomorrow, as I said, it will come. If you click on a fraudulent one and your savings are all gone, chances are you're not going to get a second life to save up again. Okay. Report any email scams, report them to the company, to your internet service provider, and block them as well if you can. Okay. Now, the sad bit, this is something which is sort of related. It's something we need to be careful of. I have noticed recently on Facebook, not that I'm a huge user of it, but on the right hand side, in amongst all the adverts, there are lots of over 50s partner sites and looking for friendship and love and so forth. Unfortunately, one of the big scams at the moment going around is from online dating sites and people looking for company. Very often it's from someone who is claiming to be a soldier, usually in the US Army. They're posted in places like Afghanistan, Iraq, places like that. They send a nice profile photo and they talk the talk, as they do. And it sort of starts off all lovey-dovey and very nice, and yes, it would be great to meet up, but look, I'm going to be out of touch for a little while because I'm off on a tour and I'm doing this, that and the other. And then suddenly you get a text, because they've gone off from the public platform from this dating site to a personal phone call or text usually, to say, look, I'm in trouble financially, I'm stuck here, I can't get away, can you send me a couple £100 to get me out of this? And that's how it starts. And very often then something else will come up besides the medical bills. They then have to fly back to the States, and basically the US government would have been taking care of all of this, especially if they're in the military. That should be sorted by them, so just think about it logically, it should not come around. But they have taken people for their life savings, thousands and thousands of pounds. And as if that's not bad enough, the scammers then pass on those details to more scammers who will contact you after a few months and say, hey, we caught this guy who was pretending to be a US soldier. He's going to court. You can get your money back. Great, happy days. Until they start asking for money to pay for legal costs, and then they have to bribe a corrupt judge, and so it goes on, and people actually fall for the same scam again and get scammed twice. You can check what we call these for love scams, if you like. So a nice simple process where you get a profile picture sent through, you can copy that picture, if you don't know how to do it, get somebody who can copy that picture. Simply go to Google and have a little look for Google image search, Google's reverse image search, and it will show you where that photograph has been used across the internet. very often the people's picture, they don't realise that it's been used as part of a scam. Also, if it has been used for a scam before, you will see various entries there to say that this has been used as part of a scam and please ignore it and so forth. There are other ones available. Tin Eye is one and Dupli Checker is another, but again, they're all fairly straightforward, okay? But just stop and think, yes, we all want to have somebody love and care for us. Yes, we would all like to love and care for someone, but at what cost? People's lives have been absolutely ruined as they've lost life savings and everything else through these fraudsters. Again, Action Fraud will be the people to contact straight away, speak to your citizens' advice, and then it's not just the financial side, but that emotional support that you will need, because it is devastating. You're embarrassed. You don't want to tell your family you've lost their life savings, they've got no inheritance left or whatever. So victim support has a free 24-hour, 7-day-a-week helpline where you can speak to someone confidentially, which might just be a one-off call, and they'll refer you to local services for ongoing support. And it's an independent charity, and you can contact them on 0808 1689 111. And again, brilliant service, again connected to the police as well, so it all follows up, ties in together, so any investigation is not just on the financial recovery or catching these criminals, but on helping and supporting you. Okay, I think I've talked far too much. I seem to have gone on forever and a day. I do apologise. Hopefully you found some of it useful. As I say, in this wonderful trusting time that we have at the moment, where everybody has been so helpful and supportive, it's kind of hard to tell you to be a little bit suspicious of some things, but we don't want to be struggling ourselves for years and years because some scammer who is sat in an office somewhere who really doesn't care about you has emptied your bank account and broke your heart possibly as well. Okay, any questions from anybody? I assume I'm still going because I have no video showing here. Okay, I don't seem to be getting any questions through. We've been sort of 37 minutes. Okay. If we do have any questions, by all means contact Village Agent later. We'll always see if we can help you. Those contact numbers will stay in the comments for a while. And again, if you're unsure, contact your local neighbourhood policing team on 101, and they again will help you either through victim support or by coming and helping to investigate any potential fraud. Fraud is a very serious offence. Okay. Well, any questions? No. In which case, I think if everybody is happy, I will let you get on, enjoy your morning, enjoy the sunshine, and have a good weekend, everybody. I hope it's been useful, and take care, and let's be careful once things start to get released a little bit. Choose your 6 friends carefully. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.